What is going on, everybody? It is episode 505 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Happy Thursday. We're energized. Can you tell? As you're drinking a Monster Zero Ultra.
Yes. Zero sugar.
We're joined by Phil today.
Hello,
Phil.
everybody. How are you doing?
Welcome back.
Thank you. I feel very welcome. I'm back from Los Angeles. Yes. Had a good time. The weather's always nice. It's nice going out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you live like when not here. Your other locations are also someplace at least somewhat cold.
Yeah, New Hampshire.
It's not like you lived in the warm weather year round and then ended up here.
No. I have like ice in my veins and I'm cranky about it like a good New Englander should be.
Like I actually don't mind the cold. Like out here, it's very like it's easy to deal with out here compared to Minnesota. This weather is like it's very like it's not like warm, but it's like 30 degrees for me is perfect. I'm completely fine with 30.
Down here, it gets above freezing most days.
Yeah,
throughout the whole winter. In New Hampshire, and it's the same in Minnesota, there are stretches of weeks, multiple weeks, where it does not get above freezing. So it just gets below freezing, and it stays below even at noon, 2, 3 in the afternoon, freezing cold. It's a high of 10. That's a different kind of cold because the frozen solid just sets in after about 2-3 days.
The other worst part is like when it's that cold, you don't even get snow. Like, it doesn't even snow when it's that cold out.
There's no precipitation.
Yeah, exactly. So here, we didn't really get any snow last year, and it wasn't that cold. That's freaking perfect. I'll take that all day long.
Yeah.
That's good.
I want snow. Why do you hate snow?
I don't hate snow. I have no need for it out here.
Because you have to shovel it, Mary.
Oh,
that's why.
I'll go if I go.
I don't have a driveway.
Yeah. If I go home to Minnesota, I'll go see snow. So, guys, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today. But before we do, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe to this channel? If you have not subscribed here already, we have passed 82,000 subscribers. We are on our way to 100,000, which is fantastic. Share these videos with your friends so more people can come in here and hang out. Also, remember all super chats, $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We'll read them right then and there, and then we will get back on topic as best as we can. Perhaps you have questions for Phil about where he was in California. Perhaps you want to ask Mary about why she wants snow. All of these are things you could ask people if you wanted to ask right away and not have to wait till later. Because we do read all the super chats, but we read them throughout the segments and then at the end of the show. So we'll get into it. We're going to talk today about the weird puritanical Twitter takes about wanting to get GTA6 banned. Won't you think of the children? They say they want
a little bit of a biased starter for Brett.
Perhaps. Some of these
I say we need to sanitize society.
I'm saying that if your kid is committing crimes because of Grand Theft Auto, bigger mistakes were made along the way. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about the brand new, seemingly continuous allegations against Diddy, as well as the documentary.
What did he do?
Well, Diddy has been a very bad boy for, did he do it? I have no idea, but we're gonna have to find out because he already settled his lawsuit with Cassie, and now it's
a new lawsuit about the gang R word of a 17-year-old girl. And
supposedly this is like
did he do it?
Did he do it? We don't know. Did he do it?
We don't know. So we'll get into that. Also, 50 Cent is making a documentary about this. He should call it Diddy Do It.
50's making a movie about Diddy doing it?
No, 50
says
Cent.
That he did.
Yeah, 50.
Did he do it?
If he named the
50
documentary.
said he did.
Okay, now we're just being disrespectful.
Yes. If he named the documentary Did He Do It, it would be the greatest thing ever made. And then it's like super
50
serious.
50 Cent, if you're watching this.
Yeah.
Take the idea.
Did he do nothing?
Did he?
Didn't do nothing. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about
did he?
Lana Del Rey. Lana Del Rey is in the news. This
I
is
love
a story
her.
that's we know. That's why we saved it for today. She was being called a fake feminist and is being attacked by feminists.
Don't be a feminist at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you'll never get accused of being a fake feminist.
Yeah, I mean,
it's perfect.
How Do You Like Me Now? That song. I think it's called How Do You Like Me Now. Or playing on the radio, maybe. I'm not sure.
Radio.
Listen,
it's called radio.
Read her lyrics. You will instantly realize that she is not a feminist. There is nothing feminist about her.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yep.
which is wonderful.
Yes.
All right, guys. So before we get started, also, we do have new merch. If you saw yesterday, if this is your first time watching at the beginning of the show, we do have the brand new Let's Go mug, which you can purchase now. The question
Is it a
mark.
question?
Yes, it's a question.
It is a question. So you weren't on
3
this
O's and a
episode.
question mark.
Go.
There was an episode where somebody mentioned a super chat about Anne's Frank's hot dogs.
A kosher hot
And
dog stand.
and I
Named
was
Anne's
like,
Frank's.
I started a Let's Go.
You're dying.
I started a Let's Go. And then I like kind of stopped myself halfway through. I'm like, is that really something to let's go about? So it went from a let's go cry call to action to a let's go question mark. So
It's catching on.
What episode is this?
like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I don't even
right?
remember
It was
now,
a while ago now.
but-
So you guys can get a let's go mug.
Listen, chat, if you can tell me which episode this happened in, I would appreciate it. Thank
That's
you.
a day that will live in infamy.
I imagine, I know you said it and stuff, but I imagine Mary saying "Let's go" and then her head twisting like Stewie. Do you know that?
Go?
Yeah. So we have that, and also we have this shirt that Mary had them make. It says, "Everything I don't like is a psyop."
Perfect.
Which is perfect because it reminds me, like I get a lot of recommended videos, like some of them from the Culture War, and one of them's like you on Culture War. I think you were on there with Sovereign Bra.
Oh, really?
And the little caption that you can see that whatever you were saying at the time of the caption just says,
It's a psyop.
I think it's a psyop. Yeah. So it's perfect for Mary.
Is Sovereign Bro cool?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
All right. So let's go ahead and get started then, ladies and gentlemen. There's big news. There's going to be a huge opening for Oppenheimer. It's going to be a release in Japan starting in 2024. They had to put this off. They weren't able to do it. They had to
Oh,
get this-
what? Because they were triggered?
Release
Yes.
over Japan.
Yes. So I was going to make a joke, but I decided to hold off on the joke there.
We already
But
got one in
basically,
there.
it's not even just because of the movie. It's because what happened was in the fervor around Oppenheimer was when all of the Barbenheimer memes came out, and they seemed to feel that it didn't really treat the situation with the
Well, the
severity that it deserved.
The official Warner Brothers accounts on Twitter made and
Yeah.
reposted Barbenheimer memes that reference the mushroom clouds with the dolls next to them.
Yeah.
And the Japanese people found it very disrespectful. And then they were like, how would you feel if we made memes about 9/11,
And we were like,
Americans? And we
that-
were like, that would be hilarious.
That's the worst thing
Yeah.
that you
'Cause
could
it's-
possibly do.
They
Like,
don't understand the Western sense of humor that's so
No,
like
not at all.
ironic like that.
The amount of memes about 9/11 that I repost are insane.
the way that the Japanese think about the end of World War II is kind of, at least when they articulate it to an English-speaking person, is hilarious. Because we were in Japan and I was hanging out with some of our Japanese friends and we were talking about World War II and I was like, hey, what are you guys taught in school about World War II? And she's like, oh, and she has, with a thick accent and everything, she's like, we're taught that we bombed Pearl Harbor so we get 2 nuclear bombs. And I'm like, well, that sums it up, doesn't it? So, and like I said, I mean, it could be that the translation is why it's so funny.
Yeah.
But I laughed for about 20 minutes when she
Pretty
said
good
that.
summary of events.
It was great. It wrapped it all up. Yeah.
Proportional response.
Yeah.
That's actually funny because I've been rewatching The West Wing, and there's actually a scene early in the show where the president's Bartlett's his physician is going on like a humanitarian aid trip to the Middle East, and his plane gets shot down. And so the president, who's relatively new to the administration, like hasn't worked with a lot of the Joint Chiefs or any of these military advisors for very long, and he doesn't have, if I remember correctly, he doesn't have military experience, so he feels that they don't respect him. But he like when his physician gets shot down, he wants like this absolutely insane response, and he makes them prepare like what would happen like if they do this, and it's like it's unbelievably violent and bad for the people there, and they're like, see, you can't really do that. like it's good though, but that's what they're talking about, proportional response.
Yeah.
What's going on with Pearl Harbor happens, and then two bombs drop.
Then we place the sun in 2 cities in Japan.
And now, those are some of my other favorite memes, where it says like when you're laughing about World War III memes and it becomes daylight at night, at daylight at 9 p.m. and the eyes light up really loud. It's good. So, guys, if you are watching from Japan, you will in fact be able to watch Oppenheimer over there in 2024. It's being brought to them by
I don't think we have any
Independent
Japanese
Studio.
viewers, but
You never know.
Stand corrected if so.
Yes, I would like to know that if that's possible. Okay, also, Tim Allen is being yelled at because he was apparently a dick on the set of
Well, it's
Santa
not.
Clauses.
It's because everyone
too.
is such a whiner that they have to talk about the ways they were slighted like 20 years ago.
No, this is recent. So this is
No,
from
this was on the
2021.
set of Santa
The
Claus.
Santa Clauses from 2021.
From 2021?
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
She
yeah.
wasn't talking about the old ones.
No, this is from the new
Well,
ones, yeah.
okay. So this is Casey Wilson talking about how he acted on set. Tim Allen was such a bitch. It was truly the single worst experience I've ever had with a co-star. She noted she had buried this story until now because a producer on the show is a great friend of hers, but she
Don't they have
decided
NDAs
to
around
tell
this
us
stuff?
anyway. I mean,
you know.
maybe it expired. I don't know. So I'm in a scene. It's just me and Tim Allen, and I'm supposed to throw things at him. So he's coming down the chimney, obviously as Santa, and I'm woken up thinking there's an intruder. I'm throwing things at him. He goes over to the producer standing 4 feet from me and goes, "You gotta tell her to stop stepping on my lines." The producer turns to me with horror on his face and has to walk 1 foot to me, and he goes, "Tim would ask you to stop stepping on his lines." Wilson said that everybody was walking on eggshells around Tim Allen on set and people looked frantic. And when he was done, he was so effing rude, never made eye contact, never said anything. It was so uncomfortable.
That's not even the best part. The best part is how he leaves. It says,
Yes.
it's the end, and Tim Allen goes, leaving, takes his Santa cape off, picks it up and drops it on the floor and walks out. And then somebody has to go and pick it up off the ground for him.
Oh, and then she also says a production assistant walked past her and said, "And you're seeing him on a good day."
You know, that's...
But look, it's just acceptable to air out dirty laundry about Tim Allen because the media hates Tim Allen.
But also, these are the stories that are quintessential Hollywood, right? The diva lead actor who's insufferable to work with, who everyone has to then go on the red carpet and lie about.
Can women
he
be
was such
divas?
a joy. He was such a joy to
Or sorry,
work
can
with.
men be divas?
Yes, they can.
Is that a thing?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I know many divas.
Or is there just a different
Absolutely.
word for it?
Well, I mean, look.
He's just a jerk.
Hard to work with.
Yeah, I mean, but look, a lot of times it ends up being he's a rock star.
Well, I think
Like
the
that
main
phrase, if you get called a rock star,
Yeah.
like he's acting like a rock star, like that is not a compliment.
the main conversation when it comes to these Hollywood sets is that women, if they act this way, are labeled hard to work with and essentially get blacklisted from getting other jobs, and that men are just allowed to wreak havoc on sets and act however they want.
Sucks to suck, ladies.
I mean, it's kind of like if you have a good track record
Yeah.
and you're rude, nobody's really
If
going to
you've
pay
made
attention
them
to
a
it.
bunch of money.
If you make, yes, if you
So
make good
now,
movies.
if Angelina Jolie acts like this, she's allowed to. Angelina Jolie will make them a lot of money. Any of
Well,
these
she's
big
done
name-
flops.
But still, her box office record has more
Yeah.
hits than misses, likely, right? So if you're one of these actresses who has strong name recognition, you're allowed to be a diva. That's
Or if
fine.
you're Mindy Kaling and you openly thirst over one of the actors on your set,
Exactly.
you're allowed to get away with
You're
it.
just allowed to do that now. It's not...
When you're a star, they let you do it.
it's not
Donald
s-
Trump.
It's not sexist when they do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's truth. And also, is Elon Musk a diva? I don't know if Elon Musk would be considered a diva. Is he a diva?
Bob Iger is a diva.
Bob Iger's a diva.
So, according to a lawsuit in New Mexico, Facebook and Instagram have enabled content including child sex abuse to stay on their platform. And Disney is one of the companies that advertises on these platforms.
Yeah.
So Elon got a little salty and decided to respond to this headline saying, Bob Iger, misspelled Iger, by the way,
Totally on purpose.
thinks it's cool to advertise next to child exploitation material. Real stand-up guy. And he also said that Bob Iger should be fired immediately while Disney is turning in his grave over what Bob has done to his company.
Totally spelled
That
his
would be
name wrong on
Kathleen
purpose.
Kennedy, actually, that is the one who's responsible. I mean, the buck does stop with Iger, but, you know, Kathleen Kennedy
No,
is really
I
the
mean,
one that...
they haven't even made anything Star Wars that's even been worth talking about lately. It's all been Disney flops that are directly Iger's responsibility, meaning Wish, meaning Captain Marvel and Kevin Feige for the Marvels, right? So they've got
Star
all
Wars
sorts
seems to
of-
be the least bad.
No, we just don't cover it.
Right?
It's just as bad. We just don't cover it.
A lot of people liked Ahsoka.
But it doesn't matter because the Disney trilogy did so much damage. It won't change anything.
I didn't like. I grew up with Star Wars. I'm like the guy that they would like go after to be targeting.
No, it's not because you're not a woman.
Well, no, the original. I'm talking about the original. Like if they were targeting their core fan base, I'm the guy they would be targeting, and they lost me. Like I did not pay any attention to Ahsoka. Like I don't watch Star Wars stuff anymore. Yeah. Like I don't pay attention because there's been so much of it that's been just bad. That
Disney
I'm just
is just bad these days. They have no.
They
direction.
put Megan Thee Stallion in a Marvel show, and they put Lizzo in a Star Wars show.
Oh yeah,
that is.
I was looking at
it doesn't get any worse than that.
It doesn't.
I was looking at Ethan Van Sciver, who had he was talking about like him and another comic book creator were talking about male versus female power fantasies because he was referencing the quintessential example. The guy wants to stop the terrorist on a plane, and somebody goes, "I don't know what they are, but no female dreams of this." And it's the shot of She-Hulk carrying the guy to bed.
Yeah, like
oh,
women are not men.
Yeah.
Women are not men. Men are not women.
This is weird though. Like I have thought about like stopping a shooter before.
Okay.
That's unconventional, I'll admit that, but I have thought about that.
Do you carry regularly?
No, actually.
That's weird.
That is weird, right?
The fact that you don't have a gun.
I think about like stealing his gun.
Ah.
Wow.
Okay.
So we need to get her some CQB training.
She needs some jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
and some.
But that's not normal.
Yeah.
Right?
You need some
That's
close
not
quarter
normal.
combat training.
You were talking about what is a female power fantasy, and we concluded that it was the fantasy that you can change a man.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's he's killed 15 people, but my goodness, he loves me, and I can change him.
Yeah.
He's in jail.
Yeah.
It's delusional, but
Yeah. But Elon didn't stop there. He also posted this one. This was a Babylon Bee meme. I sometimes forget that he went on with the Babylon Bee back in the day. It says
he bought Twitter because of the Babylon Bee.
Disney awarded defense contract after producing more bombs than Lockheed Martin. Which is just, at this point he's just being a little bit petty, and I'm kind of here for it. I like that Elon. I wonder if he just goes into weird death spirals online, right? Like everyone kind of goes through phases where maybe you get the doom scroll and you're doom scrolling a little bit. I'm sure Elon doom scrolls.
how does he have enough time?
Doesn't it's all structured, right? He's got his 9,000 kids. They've all got school right there at the Tesla plant or the SpaceX facility. How many kids does he have now? 12.
I mean, if he wants to get his genes out there as much as possible, wouldn't he have sold his sperm?
I mean, maybe he wouldn't have the ability to actually look after the kids then.
I think he's a little more trad than that. I think he looks at not like
funny.
not saying that he's like super trad, because I mean there's a possibility that he's also a transhumanist, but also
He's definitely he loves Neuralink. He's definitely a transhumanist.
Well, he's creating that, but I mean the reasoning behind his. Or if you listen to him articulate the reasons behind why he's doing the things that he's doing, it's mostly because he believes that if he doesn't, or if the wrong people do, then it's going to just enslave humanity in a brain prison.
I mean, but even that is a little bit of like a God complex in and of itself. It's like if nobody else is going to do it, then I have to do it. But you love to see it. Also, he's one of those few people where he'll go on these podcasts and they'll be talking about overpopulation. He's like, no. Actually, we have a scarcity of population. We need to be increasing the birth rate, especially here in the West, rather than decreasing it. So he wins a lot of people that way. But we also have this one. Speaking of what you were talking about the other day, about the differences between how men and women are perceived on set.
Right. So Hugh Grant recently was in an interview promoting the new movie Wonka, where he's an Oompa Loompa. And...
Jesus.
Instead of saying something positive about the movie, he just said that he hated making Wonka, and he did it because, quote, I have lots of children and need money. And Jacob Elordi said something similar.
Hugh Grant said that?
He said he's like this.
He did.
He's very like this. He's very
But I mean, Jacob Elordi said the same thing about doing, I think, the Kissing Booth movies for Netflix. This is like a trend right now.
One of my favorites recently, I think I mentioned the other day that I was watching this interview that Camille Nanjiani did with Chris Weitz, who did American Pie, but he also did a bunch of other very popular movies. One of which he did was one of the 50 Shades of Grey movies. It was either 50 Shades of Grey or Twilight. I think it was Twilight. So he did one of the Twilight movies. He goes, and he says like, oh, I love the author, and the script was fine, and I have a very nice house.
Yeah,
Which is just him saying like it was
I feel
a
like
good
it's very
paycheck.
trendy to just say that you did something for the money in Hollywood now. Like Taika Waititi just did the
I
same
want
thing
them
with
to do that.
his Thor movies. He said, you know, I have a lot of kids' mouths to feed, so it is what it is.
I would rather they did that than pretend like they care about something that they don't actually care about, because we can see it through it a mile away. When these actresses or actors say, "Oh, I loved comics growing up," no, you didn't.
Well, the point
you
is,
likely didn't.
Rachel Zegler also said this when she was asked why she took a role in the DCEU.
Yes.
And I saw this quote tweet. Every time a man says this and gets praised for being real and hilarious, I think about how people treated Rachel Zegler when she said she was in Shazam because she needed a job.
Nobody cared about this comment from her. They're
Obviously.
I didn't know that it happened.
I'd never seen that clip of her before it was compared to men saying the same thing.
Yep.
That was obviously not what she was getting hate for. We're going to talk about her sit down with Halle Bailey soon. But
The way men and women are perceived in these roles, not their acting roles, but their roles as actors, as performers, is different. It's cool for men to be aloof and a bit disinterested. When women do these things, it's pageant syndrome, right? You're supposed to appear warm, you're supposed to appear engaged, you're supposed to appear magnanimous and as if you really, really care about it. Whereas a guy, it's a little bit cooler if a guy acts disinterested. If a guy is like, especially if he's good at his job, right? If the guy's like, oh, I just did it for the money, but he's really good at it.
well, Henry
a lot of
Cavill
people-
didn't do that.
No, I mean, one example doesn't mean all are like that. I'm just saying that on the whole, men will be given leeway in this realm in the way that women are not.
So it's difficult for them to be pleasant and warm and nice.
Well, also,
Men?
For the women, they don't like it.
They don't
Clearly.
like it.
They're complaining about it.
Yes.
Is it hard for the men to act aloof?
and men, and Henry Cavill doing that was related directly to properties connected to fandom. Like, I don't know if I believe that Henry Cavill has super strong opinions about Argyle. Or super strong opinions about the man from, I mean, he might have strong opinions about the man from U.N.C.L.E.
Well,
I
in
don't
these
know,
situations, we're talking about franchises.
but yes.
So Wonka, I guess that's a franchise now.
Yeah.
DC, that's a franchise.
But Rachel Zegler playing a Disney princess is vastly different than Hugh Grant playing an Oompa Loompa.
yeah.
Not the same thing.
And having to listen to Timothy Chalamet talk about his Oompa Loompa dump truck.
Yeah, like there's just
That really happened.
There's no reason for people to assume that men and women are supposed to react to these things in the same way.
Yeah.
I think what sells a man, like a man's persona to the public, is different than what sells a woman's persona to the public.
Yeah, I mean that should be plainly obvious to anyone that would look. Like this idea that men and women are the same, that that human beings are blank slates, and that everything is written onto you by your surroundings. That's not true. That is a lie.
It's imprinted on you then from
No. We're a mix. We're a mix of nature and nurture.
Yeah, so that age-old question is actually something closer to the middle.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, I think that it's probably 70-30. You can influence people, but there's only so much you can do it with someone that has started with a certain type of, certain temperament. And when it comes to things like, male or female, you can't do anything about it. We can, as a society, allow trans people or cater to trans people and say, we'll use your pronouns and we'll allow you to use, to live your life as the opposite sex. But it doesn't change the actual fact that you are not ever going to be the opposite sex. You're always going to be the base sex that you were born, So I think that, yeah, I mean, I just think that I kind of lost where I was going. So
Also, if you really think about it, like her example, because Rachel Zegler, like, people are assuming that when they think about her making those comments, they're thinking about her having that opinion about Snow White, not necessarily Shazam, in which she doesn't really have a whole lot of connection to. People would be upset if Tom Cruise was suddenly like, yeah, I just made Mission Impossible 9 because it was worth a lot of money. They would want him to be invested in the character because it's his character.
Okay.
Right?
So see, it's not always the case that men should be aloof and disinterested.
I think that there's partially a difference between men and women, and partially the men that are making these comments are making them about franchises that nobody cares about. Nobody cares about the Kissing Booth.
The big, the real big name actors, like the real top actors. I can't think of any of the actual big name guys that come across as aloof and serious about it. They come across playing like Tom Cruise, or you wouldn't see Brad Pitt, Clooney, like the big name. Like they might play at these kind of ideas, but you wouldn't see them coming across actually poo-pooing it.
Well, Robert Pattinson was pretty open about the fact that he hated making Twilight movies.
Is Robert Pattinson on the same level as Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt?
Is he
he's
not
Batman.
now?
He's Batman now.
He's Batman, and he's a pretty big deal
Batman.
now.
He's a pretty big deal right now. Yeah,
Maybe not.
But he's also British, so he like a lot of times they'll be like he's got because people were okay. That's actually a good example. That's a really good example because he made comments where he said that I'm not working out to get in shape for Batman, and people were pissed.
Wasn't he already in shape?
People were pissed about this, and then what people didn't get is that it was essentially just his kind of wry sense of humor that people weren't picking up on because it was like a printed interview, which was then translated and done into all these videos. So people were mad about that because people care.
Right, there's no way that wasn't in his contract.
So people care about the Batman character the way that men care about the Batman character, the way that women would care about Snow White. So men hearing Robert Pattinson not treating that character with any amount of deference would piss them off the same way it would piss off people hearing someone like Rachel Zegler supposedly complain about having to take Snow White as a job, even though that's not what she was talking about. She was talking about Shazam.
Right.
So I do think that there's more comparisons there than they think about. I just think that men are different and they have a really big problem admitting that you're just going to be treated a little bit differently based on your gender.
Right, they're not double standards; they're just standards.
Yeah, and in the same way, like you might look at somebody like if Jacob Elordi was like, oh my god, I loved doing these lame Netflix romantic comedies. People are like, that's kind of lame.
Well, it sucks because then they asked his co-stars, and Joey King was like, I'm really sorry that he felt that way. Everyone loved making those movies. Everyone else had a great time.
He's like, well, I didn't. So what? Like, and half of them are probably lying, right? Like half of them are probably lying. They're not telling the truth. There's lots of actors in television, for instance, who they stay on to play those characters for too long, and they get really sick of having to play the same character for years and years at a time. But it's not really the same thing for movies. It's kind of different. So, and we'll have to wait and see with the Batman 2. That's going to be in 2025, I think.
I haven't even watched the Robert Pattinson Batman.
Don't bother.
That's exactly
it's
where
2 hours and 59 minutes.
I don't care. Like, and nothing about it, like any of the ads or stuff, nothing made me excited to see it.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Like I was like, why should I see this when I kind of I saw the Chris Nolan Batmans, and those are like the pinnacle in my opinion. So like
we got a $20 from Jay Raymond. Here's to Pop Culture Crisis, a new All That Remains album, and me passing my flight paramedic course. Let's go.
Yes.
Go. No question mark.
No question mark.
definitely.
Cheers.
With my zero sugar monster.
Cheers to that.
That does literally nothing other than occupy.
It has
my
caffeine.
But it does literally nothing except occupy my hands a little bit. So. All right, let's go ahead. So we talked about Wonka. I also want to talk about Destiny. Mary, how do you feel about this? What's going on with Destiny?
Yeah, so Destiny, a popular political streamer, the news has just broken that he is getting a divorce from his wife, Melina. And this is interesting because he has publicly promoted the fact that they had an open relationship, an open marriage, and practiced polyamory, as it's called. And my response is, how's that working out for you? Not so well.
If you didn't know, Mary loves Destiny. She thinks he's great.
Oh yeah, I'm the #1 fan.
She's his biggest fan.
Yeah.
Right?
So we also found that people were placing bets on him getting divorced before 2024 rolls around.
Right now, we're sitting at a 59% chance that they will get divorced before 2024. Those are the betting odds right here.
Yeah. So they're separated. We're not sure if they're going to get a full-on divorce by the end of this year.
So I'm going to read you the criteria that this is on Manifold Markets, and it says, will resolve if so you can bet yes or you can bet no. It says, will resolve if a divorce finalizes legally, will not resolve if they just break up. If they announce divorce before 2024, I'll hold off on resolving if either happens legally or they get back together, meaning if they announce divorce before 2023 and legalize it in 2024, I'll still resolve for yes. And then he updates it here. It seems Destiny and Melina have separated in some way. The message above will still hold true in the best way possible, so I will clarify here. If they stay separated for the rest of the year and never mention divorce, I will resolve no. If they say they are proceeding with a divorce, I will wait until the end of 2024, and if a divorce happens, I will resolve yes. He's being very magnanimous and professional about this. If it does not, I will resolve no. What I think is most likely is that they will be ambiguous around the term divorce for the rest of the month, maybe mention it half jokingly a couple of times. In this case, it would be up to me to decide if it counts as announcing divorce, but I'll let you know how now I will be pretty liberal with the announcement. If it feels like they are going to get divorced based on what they have said, I will probably wait it out. This part is completely my discretion, so I will not be betting in the market. Should I bet right now? I can bet live on air.
Do it. Go ahead.
What do you think? What do you guys think? It's sitting at
But you have to
63.
sign up on the website, and we don't want to get your credit card information on screen. So
I can't just vote.
maybe after the show.
Damn. Okay.
But it's funny that this betting site even exists because they've been vindicated. And I also saw these screenshots of what Destiny has said about it so far. He said, I'm not going to nuke Melina or anything, but the last 2 months and 2 weeks have been a massive mind F for me. Watching her become obsessed with a toxic, abusive guy. When I visited Sweden last, he gave Mel an ultimatum to divorce me and then threatened to K himself when she didn't do it, among 20 other abusive, manipulative things he's done, and endlessly make excuses for him. So I'm out. And then he also said, this proves every point I've ever made. Girls can leave you for jobless, manipulative losers if they just play their cards right.
Have you seen
And the one last thing he said is, I wanted a massive therapy session to see if I could express myself better and iron out some boundaries, but it's hard for me to ask for anything if I've been a pushover for so many years.
It didn't know. I thought they had an open marriage so he could bang other chicks.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
That was the deal.
Well,
right?
with that comes the risk that your wife is going to bang other dudes and then leave you.
No, but am I correct? Like, chat.
Yes.
That's the deal. He it was like he wanted the open marriage because he had made the argument, I can't not cheat on people, which is I don't
kind of a red flag.
I don't accept that at all. Like, I don't, first of all. But if the situation is I want an open marriage because I want to be able to sleep with other people, and then he's complaining because she left him for a guy that would be exclusive to her.
Right.
Boo fucking who?
Yeah.
And he's labeling this guy as like a manipulative guy who's got no job or no nothing. Have you seen that meme where it's like the Lego character and it plays I just died in your arms tonight, and it's being done for like anything? So this one says like women when they see like a convict with no future, and it looks shocked and enthralled and wants him. Yeah, that's kind of what's happened here. She fell for the wrong guy. Now we're gonna have to deal with this.
She fell for the guy that would be
in
her.
his eyes. He fell for the.
She fell for the right guy. Yeah. If that guy will be exclusive to her, that is the right guy.
She's like, maybe this guy is toxic and abusive and manipulative, but at least he wants to only be with me and not other women.
Did he say in previous interviews whether the idea of the open marriage was his idea or both of theirs?
That's what I was getting at. I think that if I understand correctly, he wanted the open marriage because he could not commit because he was always banging other chicks. And he wanted to be honest and be the quote-unquote good guy and not cheat on his girl. He wanted to just be able to bang other chicks. That's what. If I'm wrong, then I could be wrong. I don't.
But it's like now, not just that though. They could have kept it private, but they decided we're going to go on the internet together and defend this nonsense as something that's healthy, normal, and. Now everyone who said this is obviously a terrible idea and not a real marriage has been vindicated in saying so.
It is the dumbest thing in the world for a guy to go into a polyamorous relationship. Like it is
for anyone.
Well, I mean, it's dumb for women, yes, but it's dumber for guys.
Why is that?
Because for guys to go into a polyamorous relationship, for them to be like, yeah, I'll share this woman with like, what's the point of going into a relationship? Guys are hardwired to do that anyways. If you're a woman and you're saying, oh yeah, I will go ahead and stay with you because you're providing me with resources or you're providing me with something, and if you cheat on me, I'm still getting something out of it. For a guy, he's not getting anything out of, like, just getting laid once in a while is not worth it for a guy. Like, there's nothing for coming back to the guy. Like, it is a terrible idea and it's not a good idea for anyone. I'm against polyamory anyways, but I think women can do it much better, and it can function in a polyamorous relationship more than a guy can.
The funny thing is, I imagine that Hollywood now would have a very pro polyamory take. There was an episode of House about 10, 15 years ago where a couple comes in an open marriage, and the whole episode, you know, basically all of the doctors are interrogating these two people about their open relationship, and the woman, you know, she elevates it to the level of poetry, basically saying like, where she's like, I'm superior. Basically the idea, she feels superior to other women because they're honest with each other about these things. But what it ends up being true is that the guy has actually lost his job and has been hiding it from his wife for like a year, and they've been living on credit cards. So basically he allowed the open marriage to happen because he was so guilt-ridden over something bad that he had done that he just allowed it to be, and he had never, despite the fact that the relationship was open, he had never actually been with another woman while this was going on. She had been with other men. So that's you know, the girl's gonna have an easier time finding an endless supply of dudes.
Yep.
Well, this is also weird since they did claim that Melina was only hooking up with other women. And apparently that is not true.
Okay.
Or at least it's not true anymore.
That's a lot of times, that's why guys will say that they're okay with it.
Because they don't see that as a threat.
Which is terribly stupid.
But I mean, once you've thrown monogamy out the window, everything's
absolutely.
up for grabs.
Once you've done anything, like you shouldn't, like, I'm a fan of the Pence rule. Like, if you're in a relationship, you shouldn't be alone with other women, like, at all. There's no reason for you to.
I mean, even if you're not in a relationship, a lot of guys have adopted that.
I won't do that because
practice.
because of the band stuff. Like, I'm not going to go and be like alone with any, like, especially with anyone on tour, like anyone that we work with. Like, if we hire someone, I don't go do, like, we had a girl that was a merch girl. I don't do alone stuff with her.
Yeah.
Like, she does her stuff. I'm not, like, there's me and other people because the boss ain't going with
Better
the merch.
safe than sorry.
Yeah, the boss ain't going with the merch girl to do something without someone else to be like, no. None of that stuff happened. And she's cool. Like, I trust her, but no.
Why do you think it is that society has fallen so into this trap right now of trying to find any method of pushing alternative forms of commitment than just what has seemingly been working for so long?
I mean, it's not even an alternative form of commitment. It's just non-commitment, which is an oxymoron when it comes to being married.
Yeah, it's like they slapped a name on being only sexually attracted to people you're attracted to.
Yeah.
There's a name for that or something.
Demisexual. What's demisexual again?
Demisexual, yeah, this weird niche sexual orientation where you need to be emotionally attached to someone to be attracted to them.
So what that
That's
is that is a smuggle yourself, smuggle a straight cis normal person into the LGBT group. That's exactly what it is.
Really, it's like when you've framed casual sex and promiscuity as the norm, anyone who falls outside of that and says, well, I mean, I actually take sex seriously and I only want to have sex with someone who I am emotionally attached to or in love with, they're weird. So you have to be in a category.
Well, I mean, it's an access point to the LGBT because in my opinion, the LGBT stuff is all political.
That too. Yeah.
So it's just an access.
It's
a way for normal people to go ahead and say, look, I'm not a conservative. Yeah. I'm not the square. Blah blah blah. I'm.
Most of the time, they just go for non-binary.
That's another easy one. It's probably better for dudes that are kind of like normal dudes, but still kind of want it like a little on the weak side and want to be like, well, you know, I'm like.
This is going on in comics for a while now. Where
so it's just like, oh, I'll say that I'm I'm a normal guy, but I'm a demisexual or whatever. So that's my LGBT garbage. It's all a pose.
But this is also funny because apparently in a couple of hours, Destiny's going to be on the whatever channel debating with Trent Horn and Lila Rose about sex work.
That's today?
Prostitution. That's happening today, the same day that everyone on Twitter is talking about his divorce. So I hope he's holding up.
I wonder what what's his take going to be. I mean, obviously he's probably pro sex work, right? Like he's probably like,
yeah, obviously. So he's still peddling his insane nonsense ideas.
You can be
shouldn't listen to people because obviously in practice it doesn't work.
You can be pro sex work and still be pro traditional relationship too. Like you just got to be like, hey, these are two different areas that can't.
They should.
Well, it's like a Jenga thing for them. Like it all builds together. If you take out one, then it all falls apart.
Because like I think that like sex work is something that you're never going to actually get rid of. So it's like there should be like the edges of society that polite society kind of just says, well, we're not going to destroy people's lives over it, and because that's bad, that's worse than having it, but we don't want to hold it up as like what society should aspire to. There is room to have like kind of things that we don't really talk about in polite society, but at the same time we're not destroying people's lives for over, you know?
Which seemed like we were at that point for a while in the
and then the left got in charge.
Yeah, like in the early probably the mid 2000s, right? Like that was a time when
I'd say mid 90s to mid 2000s was kind of a golden era of like the left wasn't ascendant in the U.S. The right was still kind of in power, but
there was a check on it. There was a check on the balances. One of the things I have a hard time trying to put into words all the time is why I think that art was so good at that time period is because they actually were the counterculture that was pushing back on a more conservative majority, which is why the art felt more authentic, but it also had money behind it. So you had the combination of both strong investment from, you know, a Hollywood infrastructure that was doing very, very well and a counterculture movement at the time, which led to really, really good art. Whereas now they're both in power and have all the money, but no desire to make more because they don't seem to care if they make any money on the stuff that they make because they have all the power. So it doesn't matter. All right. What was
on.
it? Yes.
We're
Taylor
still
Swift.
reeling from Taylor Swift being named the Time Person of the Year.
Me and Phil were both saying good for her.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for
so
her.
she, in that piece, talked about her conflict with Kanye West and Kim Kardashian and how they did this illegally recorded phone call, edited it deceptively. I have no idea.
So,
since it's California, who knows what state she was in. She's claiming this was an illegally recorded phone call that was then edited to make her out to be a liar.
Nobody remembers this.
Then she was called a snake, and she used the snake imagery in her marketing for her next album, so she benefited from it in reality. She wasn't canceled, she just felt canceled, as it said in the piece. And now Kim Kardashian's Instagram comments are being flooded with snake emojis from Swifties.
She's not careful, she's going to have to get her BBL back to distract people.
Who is more powerful, Taylor Swift or Kim Kardashian? Who's going to win?
Taylor Swift.
I still think Kim Kardashian has infiltrated more aspects of the entertainment world and is diversified more.
That could be true, but I think that the people are going to. I think that Taylor Swift has a bigger fan base and is more likable than Kim Kardashian. Yeah. So I don't think either of them are going to be hurt financially. Yeah. This is just this is just they're just printing money, both of them.
Well, they both get to act like they're victims of Kanye West now after their divorce.
Should start a club.
They should start a club, yeah.
Nobody remembers this, by the way. Like they're acting like this was some big scandal. Nobody remembers.
Meaning Taylor Swift is acting like this was a big scandal that ruined her life.
Only Swifties remember this.
Is not true. I went into hiding. Everyone hated me. I've been, rising and falling in the public discourse. Everyone always liked her. She was always successful. That never changed. She just felt like she was canceled, and now she's using that to spin a narrative that everyone is believing.
Yep. Like most people remember I remember Kanye going on stage and doing this, but I don't remember there being any backlash after the fact. I don't.
Sure.
At all.
Yeah, and now in regard to Kanye's fall from grace, she says, trash takes itself out every time.
Did she say that?
She did.
That's kind of
Taylor Swift said that?
That's very catty.
It is.
Well, I mean, Taylor Swift said that about Kim Kardashian,
Taylor Swift is a racist, confirmed.
She didn't say this is about Kanye, but it was very heavily implied this is about Kanye and all of the people who have crossed me over the years, like Scooter Braun, like Kanye, like Kim.
Well, because Kim, like the only reason anyone knows about Kim is because she did pornography. So That like Taylor Swift being like, I'm better than you. There might be a little bit of a reason for that.
Yeah,
Taylor Swift
I mean, at least she actually
writes
has
songs
talent.
and does things, whereas
Nothing wrong with selling a product that people want to buy.
Kim Kardashian's Donald Trump, because you just went and licensed the name and the image and stuff, doing the licensing thing. She does the same thing Donald Trump does, except S the D. Donald Trump doesn't, to our knowledge, Donald Trump doesn't S the D.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
As far as we know. Check back
And
later for
now,
more.
since
Kim
Ray
put
J
out-
spoke out, we know that was all planned. That was all coordinated with her mother.
Of course it was.
And her mother, sick in the head as she is, watched 3 different versions of the sex tape and
course.
decided which one makes Kim look the best.
I'm picturing her like this, where she's like looking into a monitor and she's like, cut there.
Yeah.
Can you drag that back that way a little bit?
And Ray J confirmed all of this.
So while we're on that's all disgusting and abhorrent. So while we're on the topic of Kim Kardashian, can we like hope that, or can we discuss my hope that the sloppy, gigantic asses that Kim Kardashian has delivered into the public consciousness have started to go away, considering Kim Kardashian is now thin?
We did talk about that.
I am pro thin people, so
Yeah.
I back this. I believe that this is a good thing for America.
Yeah.
Her ass is missing, mysteriously gone,
Look,
vanished.
The idea that Kim Kardashian, I feel like, is the real reason why like big butts. Like at first, it was Sir Mix-a-Lot, and then like when Kim Kardashian started walking around with that gigantic dump truck.
Now she's like, white people can have big asses too. Like, is that the cultural revolution you started?
Maybe, but it just because she did it doesn't mean that it was good. Like, big asses are good when they're like big in shape asses, like you've worked for them, exercise. Like a bunch of ice cream and donuts put on your ass is not like a good big ass.
Well, also transferring all the fat from your stomach into your butt with surgery doesn't look good.
Fat is not good.
Crazy how that works.
Build muscle. Like,
Just looks like a diaper.
the shape of your butt comes from the shape of the muscles in your butt. And
Okay.
everything else.
I got a question. Phil.
Yes.
Die Hard. Christmas movie or not?
I am of the opinion that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and as much as I do love, what's his name? Bruce Willis, when he said that Die Hard was not a Christmas movie, he was suffering the effects of a rare type of Alzheimer's disease.
Which he's already, So this is from a new poll that says, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Half of Americans say, ho, ho, no.
That's not true. The one that they did with IGN had 23,000
That's older.
votes and had 77.9% saying yes.
I'm looking, but I got, that's why I grabbed them. I have 2 different polls here. So I have one from Yahoo and one from IGN. The IGN one is older. The IGN one is from 2021. What I see this as is 50% of Americans have no fun. Are anti-fun in a lot of ways. It is kind of, it became a cultural meme topic, right? Where somebody in the chat earlier mentioned it became the Nickelback of Christmas movies, where it became cool to say that it was a Christmas movie. I think this was actually bolstered by that guy who had that famous tweet a couple years ago. Who says, just a reminder that if you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, you're full of toxic masculinity.
What?
To which then everybody responded like, yes, like, you know, like
the Chad meme.
Chad meme, yes, right, exactly.
Fair.
So it says the latest Yahoo YouGov poll. Well, that's scary. Yahoo working with YouGov shows that 50% of respondents say Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie, compared to 26 who say that it is, and 23 who say that they are not sure. I put a poll up today, ladies and gentlemen, because who really cares about these losers? I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what your opinion is on whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And I didn't give you none of these mealy mouth third options. There was no, it's complicated today. There is just yes or no. And right now, 81% of you say yes. Die Hard is, in fact, a Christmas movie.
I think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie with the internet. I think the people that are extremely online tend to answer yes, and then if you ask like normies, I think they answer no.
So this is what they say. It says, what makes a movie a Christmas movie? So this is from Pamela Rutledge at the Media Psychology Research Center.
We don't need experts to weigh in.
I know. It says, the human brain is funny, she told Yahoo Entertainment.
Sorry, I have to interrupt. $25 super chat from I Am What I Am says, hi, folks.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. It says, it tends to remember happy events with a bit of fairy dust, amplifying the glow and heightening our enjoyment of positive memories. Yippee-ki-yay, I would imagine. Become holiday favorites, become annual rituals, signifying the holiday season as much as Christmas carols playing at the mall. Does watching the film at any other time of the year feel weird? If the answer is no, then it is not a Christmas movie. I don't think it's weird to watch Die Hard any other time of the year.
Well, then that says all you need to know.
So it says, if you take Christmas out of the movie, does it still make sense? If the answer is yes, then it's not a Christmas movie. Technically, you could, I suppose, replace the fact that he's going.
What's the holiday for? Why is he going out to the Why is he going out to the coast? Yeah. Come on out to the coast. It'll be fun. Yeah, why is he going without Christmas? He's not going out there for any reason.
Yep. Says there are numerous Yuletide Easter eggs throughout the movie, as well as, says film data analysis Stephen Fellows. He discovered 21 Christmas references alone, including the reams of paper flowing down the skyscraper like snowflakes. There's a lot of Christmas theme. Obviously, it's a Christmas party that's going on, right?
Yes.
Yippee-ki-yay. Everyone should go watch this. Mary, have you seen?
No.
Okay.
Oh my God.
You're young. You should watch it this year.
Every time I haven't seen a movie, I get a reaction like
You should
that.
watch it this year.
I'm not here all the time, so it's not.
We can't watch all movies in existence. It's not possible.
You can watch Die Hard.
Okay.
And so here's the difference. So the director says he thinks it is a Christmas movie, and Bruce Willis says he doesn't think it's a Christmas movie. So I think you go with the director rather than the actor, but that might be my
Bruce
own
Willis
bias.
said, "What's Die Hard?" Unfortunately.
Oof.
Too far?
Too soon, you
Too
mean?
soon?
Too soon? A little soon. It says, however...
I'll see myself up.
Yes. The geniuses behind the 1988 action thriller probably never intended to spark the decades-old dispute. It's kind of like the debate about whether Jack would have fit on the door for Titanic.
He wouldn't have.
Absolutely would fit. He wouldn't have?
No.
He would have.
No.
Totally would have.
It would have tipped.
I don't think so.
Now,
I think
She could fit, but it would have
I
tipped.
think she's just. I bet you she was like a blanket hog too.
Would he? There is no question about whether or not he would have fit. There is a question as to whether or not the door would have continued to float.
Exactly, which means it wouldn't have worked.
She's
they
selfish.
both would have died.
She should have just died with it. Look,
if she were really about it.
She was.
If she really liked him like that.
I love the meme that says when it says if you really think about Titanic, it says, "Let me tell you this story about this time I cheated on my husband on a cruise."
Her fiance. She should have stayed with her jerk fiance. Her fiance wasn't that bad of a guy. She was just being vindictive.
I mean, he was portrayed as controlling.
Wah, wah, wah.
Definitely not.
Could be worse. Could be worse things than that.
They should have showed him actually.
At least make him actually a bad person.
Yeah.
If you want to see her as justified in cheating on him.
What about Batman Returns? Christmas movie?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. I think we should start a list of it doesn't just have to be Die Hard. You have to start listing all of the movies that have any type of Christmas related theme to discuss it. What is your go-to Christmas movie to watch?
I think it's Home Alone.
Home Alone? A lot of people
put
Home Alone. Phil, do you got a go-to Christmas movie?
A Christmas Story.
Christmas Story? Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
It's very Gen X.
I think Gen X is
Gen
like
X.
a uniform answer for Gen X is a Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Miracle on 34th Street or The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Even more now that I know that he's mean to the.
I feel like Miracle is boomers and Santa.
No, the one that came out when I was a kid with the actress
right.
from Matilda. I love that one.
I think It's a Wonderful Life is the boomer answer as well. But I like it.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and I'll leave the poll up till the end of the episode and see if it changes. Right now we're sitting at 80-20 for
Speak your truth.
Oh man, there's that word again. What would you guys like to see? Would you like to see cringe or cute of the day?
Phil, you decide.
I would like to see cringe first,
Okay.
so that way we can be left with a cute before we move on to other atrocities that the internet has provided us with.
Let's do this. All right, Mary found this one that says, "These be the ones that try to tell you what a real man is."
This was really bad.
This is what this is. So
just a warning.
I
this
haven't
is really
seen
bad.
this. Here we go.
When I was still in high school, I was so desperate for male validation and attention. I used to have a thing with this boy, and
White
he used
boy.
to call me the N-word, and I just let him. Not only did he call me the N-word, but he wanted me to call him my master. as a term of endearment, and I did. He'll be like, what's up, my little N-word, or my little slave baby? And I'd be like, hey, master. Unsurprisingly, it turned out he never liked me, and I was just an inside joke between his friends. When I was...
Women posting their L's.
This...
Why are women addicted to posting their L's, by the way?
It's kind of
Because
like,
they want validation. Women want to share stuff. They need to talk about it.
so. What
just
was
don't get it.
What was who was it the other day about saying that that men couldn't get off when they were with her? Men couldn't.
Leslie Jones.
Oh man.
She said men have erectile dysfunction. And I was like, maybe it's just you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
L's for clout.
Was that sufficiently cringe? You guys are both still horrified.
I'm unleaded. Oh, gross.
Yep.
I mean, look,
I just don't understand the impulse to post your L's.
I don't understand either.
Is it like we need to commiserate?
Well, like
Women like commiserating with each other.
I don't get why, like, if like I get a little bit of like sympathetic embarrassment and stuff, but at the same time, like if there's something that actually happens to me that's embarrassing, I don't want to tell people. Like I don't want to relive it. I don't get it.
At least not the internet.
Like
Definitely not the internet.
I'm like willing to mention, like I bring up on occasion more than once the fact that I've struggled severely with addiction, but I don't just sit there and tell you every shitty thing that happened to me through that process, right? And I could, believe me, I could, but who the hell would want to hear that? I guess it would be, is it different because it's women? Like if a guy's doing that, it's somehow, that would be even more embarrassing.
I think this is why we need a TikTok that's only for women. Yeah. So they can just post their L's over there and we don't have to see it.
We have one. It's called TikTok. Men shouldn't be on TikTok.
I mean, that's a good point. Yeah.
Let's
We
just-
can move on now.
Let's go.
It's okay.
Let's go. I gotta move on. That was too much. Let's go.
We can recover.
This is cute of the day. This is from Ellen G on Twitter. Says, I must hashtag cute of the day. My Bailey, she just had to have her leg removed due to a tumor on her foot. She's already adapting quite well to being a tripod. Shamelessly, I will also mention that my Give, Send, Go to help with the unexpected arm and literal legs worth of vet bills is in my profile.
Wasn't there another pet that was actually named Tripod in Cute of the Day?
Yes, the duck.
Yeah, the duck named
duck.
Tripod.
Yeah, Olivia's
How?
duck.
I don't know. One-winged?
No idea. Here is the very adorable Bailey.
Cute.
Oh.
Oh, cone of shame.
Yeah.
Cone of shame. I can put that full screen there. Cone of shame. And we got one more here. Oh, man. See? Posting their L's. Is Bailey a girl?
She
Stop
looks
posting
sweet.
their L's. Let's do one more here. This is from Dingus on Twitter. It says, this is Charlie. Not sure exactly what he is. We think he is a Bernese mountain dog mixed with something else. But anyways, he is 7, and we've had him since he was a puppy. My best friend.
Sweet.
And it's a sweet best friend. It's
At
very
least
sweet.
He's not named Dingus.
There you go. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So a couple of days ago, the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 leaked online, which required Rockstar Games to then release the trailer early, and it set the internet on fire. It's accrued well over 100 million views already. It set the single day or 24-hour view record, beating Mr. Beast, going well over the 58 million that Mr. Beast had. It had 62 million at the time we checked, which was just 21 hours into the release of the trailer. But after it went viral, then Twitter got its thing going on, and a bunch of people were calling for the banning of Grand Theft Auto 6.
Twitter got its panties in a bunch.
Won't you think of
about
the
GTA
children?
6. So it started with Elon Musk tweeting that he wouldn't even play GTA 5 because it requires you to shoot police officers in the game.
I think we mentioned that, and I said, "Shut up, nerd." Like,
You did.
Yes. Shut up, nerd.
And Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan have now also voiced the same sentiment. So Let's watch that clip from their stream denouncing the GTA 6 trailer.
I believe I have it here. Yes. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's watch this.
New GTA 6 is out. Have you ever played any GTA? This is a genuine question. I've never played any of them.
I believe that I played the first one. That's like a top-down, bird's-eye view kind of 2D game without any real graphic violence back when I was maybe 10 or 11 or 12, whenever it came out. I do recall that. But you know what? I want to speak about GTA 6 while you're on the topic, because now we're actually talking about something that's relatively important. Video games aren't necessarily evil. But you know, I remember when video games, because I'm very old, I'm an old man. I remember when you used to play a little man in a red hat trying to rescue a princess and teaming up with your brother. Now, if
He
rescuing
loves that version.
purity from evil while teaming up for your brother isn't a good theme of a video game, then I don't really know what is. I'm not a fan of anyone under the age of 18, 21 maybe, playing video games where the goal is to shoot police officers. I just don't think that's good for society. With all the amazing graphics and engines and whatever people put into these video games, I feel like you could create a better objective with the game, you know? Maybe you are the police officer. Maybe you are trying to stop
Human traffickers, maybe.
criminals.
Sorry?
So they don't have a problem with the prostitutes or the strippers in the game. It's too far to have to
like,
shoot
look,
police officers in the game. You should be a police officer.
Now, if you team up with your brother and you traffic a bunch of women, now that's a game I can get behind, he says.
Yeah, I did see some tweets about this. Someone said conservatives, people like Elon Musk and Andrew Tate, are the new counterculture, the new punk rock. Elon Musk and Andrew Tate, we don't play or like GTA because shooting cops in a video game is bad. Another said, it's so funny that Andrew Tate is offended by the make-believe crimes in GTA when he's an actual criminal, LOL.
I mean, like, by this logic, don't play Mortal Kombat because you wouldn't want to actually rip somebody's head off their skull or off their neck and pull it out. You know, like, just no.
And Phil, you were posting some screenshots from Jackson Hinkle's tweets trying to trend hashtag #BanGTA6, and he said the strangest thing. If you stand with Palestine, keep #BanGTA6 trending. He also said, I was offered to be in GTA 6. I can't speak of much about it, but like you, I was disgusted by the level of degenerate filth in the trailer. So I told Rockstar to F off. In a world plagued by OnlyFans and porn, I pray that Rockstar Games finds God and bans GTA 6. And he also said, why are these Zionists at Rockstar Games releasing this sexualized video game for children in America? Get #BanGTA6 trending right now.
This has to be engagement farming, right?
What does this have to do with Israel-Palestine? Genuine question.
Well, the thing is, Hinkle's he's just a like engagement farming. It's gotta be, and none of it makes any sense at all. I think the thread is because Jews control the media, Jews control Hollywood and control entertainment.
And video games?
This is what I think the line that he's going with is. This is not what I think. So
all right.
Right. So I think the line is Jews control Hollywood and control entertainment. So they're making this product that degrades society. It's morally degrading or whatever, and it helps to promote decay of society, and that's what the Jews want. And so if you are against the Jews, then you shouldn't support the game, and the game supports the Jews because you're giving money to Jews. That's what he said. Which is going to Israel. It's crazy.
I'm trying to follow.
Well, the thing is, anytime you get into like the real like anti-Semitic shit, it's always crazy stuff. And communists are the same thing, because you can take out Jew and replace Jew with capitalist, and the exact same stories work. Just like with critical race theory, you can take out like capitalist or Jew and replace with straight white man, and it's all the same shit. It's all the same power dynamic stuff. All you need to do is take out the bad guy and put in your preferred bad guy. It's all craziness.
There's a $20 super chat here from Boosted Yogi. Says they literally do this every time Rockstar releases a new game. It's just particularly bad right now. The reason I find it funny is that I have to check my watch every time actually I can't check my, no, it has a date on there. Never mind. My $20 watch does have the date on there. And I have to think, is it 1998 again? Is Tipper Gore about to tell me
that was in the 80s?
That's
Since you mentioned the common idea that violent video games lead to violence in real life, I did see someone agreeing with the Tate's point here, saying he has a point, these games only lead to further violence. I don't understand any man playing video games seriously. Video games are for kids, not anyone over the age of 17 years old. American guys are obsessed with these GTA games because they love violence in real life.
I never thought I'd have a reason to use this phrase, but okay, boomer. Like, what? Like, people of all ages, and not just men, though maybe majority men, love video games, and you're not going to destroy this culture anytime soon. It is on the upswing, whereas movies are on the downswing.
Well, I think
the downslope.
If you want to root out degeneracy, hyperviolence, and hypersexuality
Don't
from
listen
media,
to Jackson Hinkle. If you want to root those things out, you don't listen to Jackson Hinkle.
If that is what you want, if you're a conservative, I don't think that GTA is a good starting point.
Also,
I don't think that in a pick your battles situation, GTA is not the battle to pick.
We're like all of these conservatives who probably loved watching like Predator in the 80s and these movies that were hyper violent. Where do we draw the line? Why don't we just ban everything? That'd be good, right? What if just everything was banned? We just sat and faced a wall and did nothing
until
every day?
mankind is peaceful enough that we don't have to see violence on the news. There's no point in banning it from television for entertainment value. Thank you.
I wonder if anybody got the reference. Somebody has to have gotten the reference, right?
But obviously the answer to this is that these have always been rated M for mature. They are not actually made for children. But I did see someone say M for mature, more like M for my government's responsibility to make sure my children aren't consuming inappropriate content. Am I right?
That's your job! That's not the government's job, you weirdo! Why does everybody want to be babied?
I think that person was being sarcastic.
Even if they are, like, then be better at sarcasm.
Mm-hmm. And Vera said the same thing. Yeah. Grand Theft Auto is rated M for mature. That means not for young people. It's not Rockstar's responsibility to sanitize society. And it's also because there's this scene in the trailer where there's a bikini-clad woman twerking on top of a car.
Again, all of those
which has happened in real life.
Happening in the. In fact, let's watch the video. Somebody made this. They said, this is why it's taken so long, and I'm gonna have to mute it because I don't want the song to get us copyrighted. But this is why it's taking so long for Grand Theft Auto to come out, because they're properly capturing Florida culture here. So
Florida culture.
Here we go. If you're watching right now,
well, there it is.
Yeah, that's
it's real.
It's pretty real.
It's very real.
Yeah.
Alligators. Alligators, violence, and sexuality.
That's Florida.
All markers of Florida culture.
I would like people to take a little bit more responsibility for themselves. If you're
you got a $20 from AirTaz00. Where was this outrage when Cyberpunk 2077 came out?
It did not happen to that because Keanu Reeves was involved. So leave it alone.
Well, it also had controversy because you could pick your pronouns and your gender.
Part of the controversy was the fact that it didn't work.
And the fact that it didn't work.
I think it was all sucked up by the fact that it was buggy as hell.
Well, releasing it on PlayStation 4 when it was clearly not ready for when it was clearly too much for PlayStation 4 probably wasn't the best idea. I laugh at all this stuff because it does feel like it's a good excuse for people to put the onus on somebody else to clean things up rather than cleaning up your own house.
We've also got another $20 from the Ninja Bear. GTA is more for role-playing gamers these days. Action junkies like myself go for battle royales and FPS games. Where's the outrage about Fork Knife and its portrayal of dabbing after killing an innocent fishman?
Fisherman. I'm guessing fishermen. Yeah, like the entire idea that these things are going to cause violence, and I come back to it every time. I'm like, your life had to have been in dire straits beforehand, and you had a ton of things go wrong if you believe that video games cause the violence. Your life failed on a multitude of levels before it got there. Nobody who grows up in a household with two parents, they go to work every day, he goes to school, he comes home, he does his extracurricular activities, he's part of it, he plays sports, he's part of Model UN, and then when he's home at night, he goes and he plays Grand Theft Auto for a couple of hours. That kid's not going and knocking over a gas station this weekend. Nope.
All valid points. And yes, I think the claim that violent video games cause violence or mass shootings or whatever is dubious at best. But does the media you consume affect your perspectives on the world and then the way that you behave, the way that you have interpersonal interactions? Yes. Yes, it does. For instance, if you watch a bunch of debauched porn all the time and you're a porn addict, will that affect your sexual preferences? Yes. Will that be acted out in real life? Often, yes. So the idea that media affects the way that you behave and the way you think, it's totally valid.
I mean, I would love to see the studies for the people. I'm assuming there's studies that say that porn. I know a lot of people talk all the time. Porn rewires your brain. Sure. Well, are there studies that say porn or Grand Theft Auto or Cyberpunk or Gears of War or any of these games from the past, like they rewired their brains and they're suddenly killers?
There's been studies that show that just doesn't happen.
No, that's not what I'm saying, though. I'm just saying the media you consume affects your perspectives on the world, the way that you think and the way you behave. That's just a fact.
I agree with you.
I don't think that video games cause mass shootings or whatever. I'm saying that's dubious. But to say that the media you consume doesn't affect your behavior at all is ridiculous as well.
That's fair.
But the question comes back to whether you as a human being with free will have the right to consume something that might actually maladjust you is fair. And you do.
There's another $20 from Philip Allen McCracken or something. I don't know.
McCracken.
This is versions of GTA 5 that is molded where people role-playing as cops and whatnot. Phil, can I get a yeah like when you met Alex Jones?
No! Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, that's close.
Perfect. Like, you have to take responsibility for your own actions. In a society that's supposedly free, you're free to maladjust your brain, right? You just have to take responsibility for your own actions.
Yes.
Or at least that's what I would say. Let the adults have the game and let the parents make their best judgments about whether their kids are able to play games like this.
You would think that would be the general consensus, but that is no longer the general consensus.
I would say GTA 6 is a product or a symptom of our degenerate culture, not the cause of it.
Yeah.
Well, art will imitate life, right? So in this case, it recreates something that's already existing. Hence the reason why there's this video where it's showing a bunch of clips that are actually things that happen in real life. Go ahead and look up anything to do with look up Florida Man. Everyone's got a Florida Man story. Have you ever looked up your Florida Man story?
Oh, your birthday and then Florida Man.
You look up your birthday and then you type in Florida Man. These things happen regardless of video games, right?
That's mine.
Everyone's got their own Florida Man stories.
Mine is Florida Man arrested for threatening others with nunchucks.
There you go. See, Phil, do you got a Florida Man?
Florida Man and then your birthday?
Yeah, type in.
Oh, I have another one. It's Florida Man blames hookah smoking caterpillar for wrecking liquor store, police say.
Perfect.
Suspect told police his name was Alice Wonderland.
Florida man hit dad in the face with pizza after learning he helped deliver him, police say.
See? It's perfect. It's fantastic.
That's the top one.
Everyone's got some. All right. Let's go to Super Chats, Mary.
Justin Schwab said, finally get to listen to you live at work. Thanks for passing the time for me.
Well,
You're welcome.
We are happy to help.
Shane H. Wilder said, Brett, Mary, both times. Wait, what? Hey, Phil.
Hi.
Great to have you back.
Thanks.
Congrats on Person of the Year, Brett and Mary. Y'all deserve it. Mugs in next week.
Let's
LOL.
go. Yeah, get the mug, and then maybe we should have people tag the show with the mug or the shirt.
Yes.
Yes.
Andrew Jacobs said, "Hi, Phil. Would you allow your likeness to be made into an avatar so that you could perform forever like Kiss has?"
I mean, how big is the check?
There you go.
That's why Kiss did it.
Sure, yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, "Phil, I twixt you. The let's go?"
Yes, I saw it. Thank you, Shane.
Let's hold off on the rest and we'll come back after the fact. How about that?
All right.
All
I
right, Mary.
appreciate that you're using the term twixt.
Yes. What the hell's going on with Diddy?
So Diddy has just been faced with a fourth accuser, another lawsuit of a more serious Me Too claim than we've heard from anyone else as well. This is an accusation that he engaged in the gang R-word of an underage girl.
Goodness, Diddy.
And this also includes the charge of sex trafficking, because the story is that he flew this girl from Michigan to New York to commit this crime.
Hey-o.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ian. Thank you so much, guys. Especially whoever that guy who leaves the comments who says he hates the crisis parties. This one's for you, bro.
Yeah. And it's him as well as former Bad Boy exec Harv Pierre. Yeah. I've never heard of that man. Have you?
I think it's Irv.
Irv?
Prince Irv.
Okay. And it's the two of them. So he's replied to these allegations. He's tried to stay silent. He gave a settlement to Cassie when her lawsuit was about to go forward. And he thought it would all go away, but clearly that's not happening.
50 Cent called it right away, says you paid too quick and now they're all going to be coming for you.
Yes, so now he's denied the allegations in a statement to People, saying, "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I've sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." So it's not mutually exclusive that these things might have actually happened and they're looking for a quick payday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It could be both of those things.
It's kind of crazy that, like, so many stories that, like, given how many came out during the Weinstein scandal and what followed, like, there will just be an endless barrage of these for as long as time exists. We'll be hearing stories like this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that if you have a reputation for being a degenerate for decades of your career, then unfortunately a natural consequence of that is that the people you engaged in these degenerate acts with might feel that they were dehumanized or degraded by you.
Yeah. And
they might opportunistically jump on the opportunity to get a compensation from you for that.
And now 50 Cent is going to be making his documentary about
50 Cent, yeah, he's making a documentary about P. Diddy, and I can't believe this happened so quickly, right? I mean, it's only been a couple of weeks since all these accusations came out.
Yeah, so here's what he says. It says 50 Cent announces documentary on Diddy's alleged sexual assaults. It's going to be used to benefit the victims of what happened. It says 50 Cent claims the proceeds from his upcoming documentary on Sean Diddy Combs will go to victims of sexual assault and to our word as more alleged victims come forward with accusations against the Bad Boy for Life rapper. A rep for 50 Cent, whose real name is Curtis Jackson and G-Unit Film and TV, told the Post on Wednesday, quote, "I can confirm that the untitled Diddy documentary is developed through G-Unit Films and Television with Curtis 50 Cent Jackson serving as executive producer. Proceeds from this documentary that G-Unit Films and Television receives will go to the victims of sexual assault and R-word."
What is 50 Cent's motivation to tarnish P. Diddy's
that's a very
reputation?
good question.
What is that beef about? Really?
I mean, I don't know if he sees it as...
does he really feel convicted about doing this? Or did he have some other motivation?
That's a very good question, right? Like, perhaps he just sees it as a dark side of the industry he would look to shine light on, but that's giving a very charitable interpretation of someone's motives. I can't imagine, but it says the rapper also teased the project on Instagram with a sneak peek at an interview with Bad Boy artist Mark Curry, who claimed Diddy would have designated spiked bottles for women to drink from at his parties. And this is this artist
Can
quote.
we play that clip?
I don't know if we can play that clip.
It's in the article, but I don't know if we'll.
But he said, well, let's. I can refresh and see if we can play that clip. Is it here? No, it's gonna have copyrighted music.
Oh, okay.
So he says, then all the girls in the club, after a while, they're all opening their mouths like little birds. He said, mimicking women slumped over in their seats. He continued, presumably Diddy, they're saying presumably Diddy, meaning he says the word he, meaning Diddy, running around and just popping pills in their mouths. Pop, pill, 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 and that was the party. So he is not painting a pretty image of what was going on back then. There is something to be said that back then, a lot of these artists for Bad Boy had a lot of problems with him because of him owning the rights to all of their music, which he has since tried to rectify, perhaps to prevent something like this from happening, because he was giving all the artists their rights back this year, long after he's milked all the money out of them 25 years later, you know? We had $20 super chat here from I Am What I Am. Says, did Diddy do? Did Diddy do? I don't know, but did Suge Knight smash? Knight is spelled with an K. I misspelled that one there. Suge is in jail right now. Have you ever listened to his podcast?
He has
From
a podcast?
jail?
He has a jail podcast.
How is that allowed?
No, I don't know how he gets it done, but he has a jail podcast.
He threatens to kill people that tell him no.
He is a character. Like, he is a living, breathing villain. It's kind of.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the story about him like hanging Vanilla Ice over the side of the hotel balcony? Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All those stories are real.
Yeah.
He's in jail because he killed people. Like, he is no joke.
I want to give a little bit more detail to the story, though. So, this allegedly happened in 2003. And this woman was 17 at the time, according to her claims. Identified as Jane Doe, another anonymous accuser.
A lot of people are going to have a problem with that.
She says that she was flown on a private jet from Michigan to Sean Combs' recording studio in New York after they met her in a lounge. I don't know why a 17-year-old girl would be hanging out in some kind of hotel bar in Detroit, I'm guessing, waiting for a rapper to fly her on a private jet to a different state to hook up with him. But that's what she said happened. And she says that she was raped by 3 people that include P. Diddy and Irv Pierre, and not naming the third person, which is weird.
Yeah, that guy's like sitting there trembling in his boots whether his name's ever actually going to come out.
She says that Combs and his associates plied her with copious amounts of drugs and alcohol. And that's, that obviously comports with what Cassie's, that titled Sean Combs Traumatized Me. It's interesting that she said that, though, because she's not one of his victims. But she says that she attended Cassie's 29th birthday party in August of 2015. And she saw that Cassie was cornered by P. Diddy and his security guards and forced to leave her party because he wanted her to participate in sexual activity with other men. And she says, I really tried to intervene and step in and be Captain Save-A-Ho, but it didn't work. So they all just left, and then she was abused.
It's a thankless job, life as Captain Save-A-Ho.
Captain Save-A-Ho.
I honestly don't understand why you would write a letter like this that makes you sound bad. Like, she didn't actually step in and help her friend who was in a bad situation, but now she's joining in on the fun of this like dog pile. I mean, I think it's likely that he did these things, given that he has a degenerate past that a lot of people knew about.
Yeah. But he's not like kind of in the same way. Like I think we talked about the other day with Jamie Foxx. Like depending on how the public sees you, you'll get the pass, right?
Yes.
Jamie Foxx faced his own allegations, but people like Jamie Foxx, so he just did his first public appearance since he fell ill, and there wasn't a single mention of it in any of the headlines about how just 2 weeks ago he was accused of something very, very bad. None of the articles mentioned that. It's always shocking how when you read these articles that happen in short form, like one day it's this article, 2 days later they're promoting a movie and there's no mention of it, you really get to see who are the friends to the media and who isn't, because the ones that aren't friends to the media, sure, they'll still write the piece about the new thing you're doing, but they'll also say accused R-wordist who is releasing a new movie today.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a matter. So what Diddy has to worry about now is how many friends does he actually have in the media, because that's going to determine how far these stories go.
What it seems like is that he pissed off a lot of people who would be happy to have an excuse to throw him under the bus.
Also, music doesn't seem to fall to the same scrutiny as movies and television. It seems like
that's true.
Like for some reason within the music industry, these cases never. It's almost like it's because I bring it up all the time when we're talking about like the rock stars of the 70s. I was like, I still believe every rock star of the 70s and 80s has a Google alert for their name and certain words to double check if this is the day that they're going to be accused of something that might have happened back in the day, right? But it doesn't seem like even when that happens, the stories catch the same type of fire that it does when a Hollywood producer does it.
I think that is because, well, I don't know. I think that when you mention Hollywood producers, it made me pause, because my initial reaction is musicians are generally not known for their faces for the most part.
Okay.
Right? Like, there's not a lot of people that are at the level of like that Adam dude from Maroon 5, right? He's
Adam
on that.
Levine.
Adam Levine.
Well, Steven Tyler's facing,
but he's been around 40 years.
40 years, but
you know?
he's got a fairly distinguishable face, I think. Like
less so lately.
Yeah.
As he gets
gets
older, he looks less and less like I remember him from the 80s. But the point being that most people that are musicians, even very famous musicians, they don't have the same kind of name recognition or face recognition that like actors do, and I think that that's part of why. I don't know exactly how or why it is, but I think that the fact that actors and people that are on TV, people that you can see their faces regularly when you are consuming the content that they make or whatever, I think those people tend to be more on the top of mind than musicians and stuff, and that might have, I think that has something to do with it.
Good point.
It's also interesting too because it shows kind of for the artists, like I think for the actors and stuff, it's a little bit different because the media will attach themselves. They can claim that it's a virtuous means to want to talk about these things and expose the bad behavior from actors, right? That's fair, but they should be doing it for the musicians too as well. If the goal was actually something virtuous, then they would talk about all the cases evenly. But it's not true. You're still you're still a bit governed by the algorithm and what's going to get you the most clicks.
Yeah.
So it's still a name game for a lot of it.
Well, you said that he made money off of a lot of artists' work before giving them the rights back to their music. That pissed off a lot of people. People like Aubrey O'Day say that he had bad business practices and that he was difficult to work with. That pissed off a lot of people.
The entire music industry is bad business practices.
Of course.
The entire
It's more than just
industry.
him. But if he's pissed off a lot of people in his industry, not just people that he's allegedly victimized in this way, and the news comes out, they're going to jump on the chance to comment on it and join in.
Maybe, yeah.
So that might be part of the story as to why 50 Cent is making this documentary. Like, he just had a problem with him for a long time and finally has a real excuse to out him.
Could be. Could absolutely be true.
And I still think that those videos of Diddy with Justin Bieber when he was 15 are super weird. The fact that he had guardianship over Usher when he was 15, super weird.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see where this case goes, but there have been so many in the last few weeks that it felt like they all kind of got lumped in together, which isn't good either. But the we haven't heard anything about the Jamie Foxx one since then, or at least I have not. Have you seen anything about the Jamie Foxx one since then?
No, but he's more well-liked.
Yes.
Is the thing. Like, he's more well-liked, and he gained a lot of public sympathy from that health scare that he had recently.
Yep.
people don't want to dogpile on him.
Yeah.
And that's also just one allegation, and I read the story of it, and it doesn't seem all that convincing.
I mean, that's
So-
never been a problem for a lot of these claims.
Yeah.
It's like the Aziz Ansari one. If you read the whole story, you're like, this is a bit insane.
Yeah, but now it's like with his name that's associated with the story.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what it even said.
All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Tacti Plati said, Brett DM'd you on IG. The Reddit link Shane saved of the Let's Go. Phil, keep rocking. Mary, still look great. Thank you.
I do have it. I need the Ian punk rock thing, though. I need somebody to send that to me from IRL. I think
Yeah.
it was last Friday when the Defiant were on. Apparently, there's this great clip of Ian. If someone can grab that for me, I will have a new
He
crisis.
just starts singing. He just bursts into song.
I'm waiting to see it. When I get to see it, I will make a new crisis party. So we're gonna go with it.
Shane H. Wilder said, and Tacti with the assist.
Yes.
Salute. DC&C said episode 483.
That was the Let's Go.
Corey Anderson said, Mary, you married yet? Sup, Phil. You see Ian's punk rock impression on IRL was Friday.
did.
Sup, Bort.
See, I need somebody to get me the punk rock impression. Let's do one more.
Sorenko Productions said Ahsoka is ass shoka.
Okay, perfect.
It's a bit of a stretch, but okay.
All right, Mary, tell us about Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Rey has finally spoken out about getting attacked in the streets by rabid feminists. And she's also been attacked online in the digital streets by feminists for years on end, just because her music romanticizes love, really. I mean, she has lyrics like, I would die for love, and that's considered such an anti-feminist idea that's so bad for young girls to hear.
Feminism is terrible for young girls.
It's sort of like the stories of Disney princesses. They're about aspiring toward true love.
Do you think?
And you have to eradicate that so that the young girls watch these movies and want to become a leader.
Is part of it also because, like, maybe it's in a way a response? I understand that it goes back a lot farther and feminism goes back a lot farther, but maybe it rings more true for young women these days because the divorce rates are so high.
Maybe. I
Like,
don't know.
it's a response to the fact that putting all the eggs...
What is it? What is the response to the?
The idea that,
Eradicating love as
Yeah.
a theme from these movies for young girls.
because they see it as you're going to end up alone, cold and alone anyways. Why would you put your time and effort into doing that? Because nobody has the aspirational outcome to not have that be what happens.
I think it's the nihilistic nature of kind of like the modern era, right? Like we don't really live in a romantic time.
No, we don't.
Right? We live in a kind of like, it's actually, we kind of live in modernity now.
I was rewatching the bonus features, the audio commentary for old episodes of a show called White Collar, and in that show, the character of Peter, it's actually a really good example of like he's really good at his job. He's a loyal husband. His wife is has her own career, but is a devoted wife. And in the show, they actually make a point when they're talking about them getting along, how they said, "Isn't it nice to have the characters that they get along, they trust each other, they love each other." They're speaking about it it's weird.
Well,
It's not we're not nihilist. Like the modern kind of era is extremely nihilistic. It's very, very cynical, and Lana Del Rey kind of like her lyrics kind of accept the imperfections of relationships and kind of, I feel like she kind of embraces it too.
So the basis for all the backlash that she's gotten from feminists over the years is that she, quote unquote, romanticizes abuse in her lyrics.
Yeah.
When in
she does a
reality,
little bit.
she's just talking honestly about being in those types of toxic relationships, but holding on to hope and not making a bunch of girl boss pop music, which is all that you have on the market today. And that's why she stands out. So I wanted to tell you what she said in her recent interview with The Times about her being called a fake feminist. She said, "I get dressed up for my shows while some folks don't. For some reason, that was a problem. I had books thrown at me in San Francisco by liberal female groups. I've been punched in the face in Brooklyn. 10 years ago, mentally, I badly needed beauty to come out of the chaos, for something to make sense. I've been on guard for so long," she says. So yeah, she literally had feminists throwing feminist literature at her face in the streets. That is how much her music incensed people. And I mean, at least it had some kind of impact.
I mean, she's so great. Like, she's such a great lyricist. She's a great singer. And there's something, her style really captures that like Las Vegas seedy kind of Rat Pack kind of vibe. Like, she would be the kind of girl that like hangs out with like the Rat Pack. You know what I mean?
She's kind of gone everywhere with it. Like, she romanticizes like heartland America and rural areas in her more recent music, but before it was more like New York.
None of it is what you would consider progressive. It's all romanticizing existing conditions, and I think that's something that feminists really hate, because they look at modern society. And historically, they look at women's roles as being oppressed and abused and et cetera.
They took it out of the men's music too. There is no boys to men anymore. My favorite meme, it says like R&B music fell off because dudes don't grab the air anymore.
So true.
When they're,
Romance is
watch
dead.
the old views. Like we really have turned the idea of love, romance, and being with someone forever into something that people look at as naive.
Well, yeah, and that's because of the nihilism and cynicism. Everyone goes into relationships expecting, and this goes back to the whole Destiny thing that we're talking about. They're not really, like, they weren't really married. Destiny and his girl, they weren't really married. Not in any semblance beyond, well, the government says it's okay. It's a permission slip from their marriage was a permission slip from the government, not a commitment to each other. Yeah. And so they weren't ever really married. And like, I feel like that's part of the whole postmodern kind of moment that we're in now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As for this hatred that's been thrown at Lana for so many years, I think it's a classic case of being mean to the pretty girl. And I saw someone tweet, people just hate beautiful women for no reason.
Well, I mean, I think it's her message.
It's true.
I think it's her message. Like, look, Sabrina Carpenter is being pushed very, very heavily right now because she's opening for Taylor Swift, and her music is in the same vein of, what is the song? Feather is very much in the same vein.
I don't need no man. Yeah. I'm powerful and independent. Her whole music video is a power fantasy about killing men, even though she's a slight 5'2" petite woman. Yeah. And it's a cope. It's compensating for something. And Lana Del Rey doesn't do that. It's
raging against reality. Like, it's being pissed off at the human condition. And the thing is, the people that write these kind of songs that are like, specifically in this context, feminists that are raging against the traditional roles, they don't even realize that what they're actually raging against is the human condition. They don't even address the fact that these are problems that human beings have kind of navigated for as long as we've been human beings. Yeah. Like the ability for women to act like men is brand new in history. Yeah. Like, it started in the 60s. It was the feminine napkin and birth control allowed women to behave like men. And now it's like women act like this is the way things this is the way things have always been, and anything that is limiting them from doing everything that a man does is somehow oppression. And it's like, look, man, this is just reality. Like, you bleed for a week and you can get pregnant. Like, that's just the way it is. Because of that, you can't behave like guys. Like, that's just the reality.
Also, I think maybe part of it's also because like marriage has been put off now for like people aren't getting married at 19, 20, 21 anymore. They're putting off the age they get married till later, right? Which theoretically gives you more time to become cynical and question whether you're making the right choice. Perhaps back in the day, you got married younger with a little bit more whimsy and naivete, and then had to figure out a way to make it work, rather than now waiting years and years and years to do it, in which then at that point you're saying, like, unless everything goes perfectly exactly the way I need it to, it's not going to work out at all. And it forces you to either balk at the idea or you run as quickly as you can.
Well, it's, this idea that you need to be a completely full person without love, and you need to go through decades of therapy to heal yourself from your generational trauma before you're ready for a relationship. And you don't need to be a full, complete, perfect person to get married. That's just false. And also, I think that Lana is really oversimplifying what happened. People weren't mad at her because she got dressed up for her shows. I think she's just kind of throwing that out there. It's true that they were mad at her views on relationships, and I'm gonna call back to her viral post from 2019 called Question for the Culture. She said, I've been honest and optimistic about the challenging relationships I've had. Newsflash, that's just how it is for many women. And that sadly was my experience up until the point that those records were made. So I just wanted to say it's been a long 10 years of bullshit reviews up until recently, and I've learned a lot from them. But I also feel it really paved the way for other women to stop putting on a happy face and to just be able to say whatever the hell they wanted in their music. Unlike my experience, where if I expressed a note of sadness in my first 2 records, I was deemed hysterical as though it was literally the 1920s. Anyways, none of this has anything to do about much.
So what you're saying is people are like, hey, Lana, you're overreacting.
She famously
Calm
said,
down.
you know,
you're behaving like your mother.
They're accusing me of glamorizing abuse when I'm just a glamorous person who happened to have been abused. And I'm like, go off, queen.
I'm not an abuse glamorizer. I'm a glamorous abusee.
And when she says women feel this pressure to put on a happy face in their music, it's this pressure to behave as if they're powerful, untouchable, and have no faults and have no weaknesses. And that's not honest, and that's not art that's going to resonate with anyone.
Until, well, no, it does. It does resonate with like really NPC people in their, like liberal women in their car singing on the way to their mid-level marketing job. It does. Mm-hmm. It does. These things do, that's the problem. These things do resonate with people. These, I would say more so in music than in television, in movies.
Only something to supplement living a lie.
Yeah, perhaps. But I do think music does a better job of pushing this message than movies and television. Like I said earlier, there was that trailer for the Octavia Spencer spy or assassin movie that no one's going to watch because it's stupid, because nobody buys that Octavia Spencer as a spy.
She played a school teacher. People liked that.
So, but like when women make the generic anthems, yeah, lame people sit in their car and sing it. And I think that actually works better than movies and television that try to push a similar message.
Mm-hmm. Also, this isn't the first time that Lana talked about this story of people actually being violent with her because they recognized her. Because earlier this year, she was in an interview with Billie Eilish, where she said that in her early years in the spotlight, she recalled aggressive dismissals from critics, and she cites on-the-street cruelty from people after emerging from a certain niche in the eye line of the mainstream. She immediately knew she was ripe for criticism and didn't know to what extent. All of a sudden, I was walking down the street as I always did, and people would throw elbows at me. I was like, no way did that actually happen. Someone recognized me and gave me a shove. She says one of the most memorable negative passing encounters is when a woman threw a book about feminism at the singer's face while she was eating at a San Francisco bistro. And according to her, it was at that moment she thought she was completely in for it. I thought all that I could do was just keep touring, so I toured for 9 years and kept my head down. She kind of stopped touring, though.
Yeah. What is worse, though? If you were to ask the ladies who have these types of complaints, what's worse, negative attention or fading into irrelevance?
The problem is Lana Del Rey kind of is fading into irrelevance, and Taylor Swift is capitalizing on negative attention. So Taylor Swift, good songwriter, good singer. Lana Del Rey, great songwriter, great singer. And Taylor Swift is the better businesswoman. She's better at branding herself. She's better at marketing her stuff. So she's the one who's coming out on top. Yeah. Even though I think that Lana Del Rey's music is objectively better.
Lana, there's something about Lana Del Rey that, I don't know. The music that Lana Del Rey writes fits with the behavior that she is kind of doing, like, in response to the aggressive and negative comments, and the lyrics that Taylor Swift writes really fit her personality. You can really see the behavior, like, at least as far as I can tell, or at least in my opinion, the lyrics that they write speak to the behavior that they're exemplifying, and I don't think that it's anything they intended on.
Sure.
I think that because Taylor Swift's music is always very frequently like, you're not going to beat me up, you're not going to hold me down, you broke my heart, but I'm going to blah blah blah, and I'm going to get you back for it, yada yada. Whereas Lana Del Rey kind of embraces the melancholy. You know what I mean? Like Lana Del Rey's not trying to tell someone or convince someone that she's going to beat someone else. She's relating how she is experiencing whatever the situation is. She's not talking about asserting herself and changing things or coming out on top. She's articulating things and telling you how it really is.
Taylor Swift's messaging is far more marketable in today's culture, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I just think that Lana Del Rey is always written from the perspective that a lot of women have but aren't honest with themselves about, which is that they want to change a man or they want to do self-destructive things for love. And that's, I mean, just her being honest about that is commendable.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yep.
Let's move on.
All right, let's go Super Chats. Oh, we're almost at a third crisis party, guys.
Pat the Plumber said the feds should have made Peter Dinklage play the Oompa Loompa. That was never an option. They would have gotten in trouble.
I do love the idea that Disney just has to, like, they did some deal with the government to, maybe there was like a secret bailout back in the early 2000s. The company was going broke and the government's like, we'll bail you out, but we get a say on who gets casted and stuff. And Obama, he actually just let other people run the country and he was just busy like making casting decisions.
Obama is the reason why it's offensive to cast people with dwarfism now. Like it's all his fault. It's all his fault.
I thought it was actually Dinklage that did that. Peter Dinklage.
We're blaming
He's
Obama.
just the mouthpiece.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Shane H. Wilder said Destiny and his wife splitting. Who could have seen that coming? Rolls eyes in sarcasm. He has never understood what marriage is supposed to be. Yeah. DCNC said Destiny has already started moving away from the left. He's being red-pilled right now. Give him 5 years.
Can't wait for the
unlikely.
Destiny's Manosphere channel. That'll be great.
Oh God.
His Manosphere arc.
It's
his MGTOW arc.
He'll have to wear the sunglasses in every episode.
He's gonna go full MGTOW.
He should do that.
He's just gonna keep hooking up with other dudes. That's MGTOW, right?
Hooking up with other dudes? I don't think so.
That counts.
I mean, I guess.
I guess.
Bucky
That's
Ducky.
a certain branch of MGTOW, I guess.
Bucky Ducky said demisexual is the they-them of sexual preference. Yeah.
Everyone, there's nothing, what's the saying? Like, there's nothing so ordinary as the wish to be special, right? There's nothing more ordinary than the wish to be extraordinary or something like that. And that's absolutely true. In a culture now where you get your extraordinary label from who you sleep with and or your race, gender, sexuality and stuff, like now you just got to make stuff up so you can be extraordinary just like everyone else, I guess.
Shane H. Wilder said Trent Horn will own Destiny. I am looking forward to watching that debate. I am what I am said hi folks. Bucky Ducky said I'm in the same boat as Mary. I have a list well over 100 movies I need to watch, so I just don't.
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
I have to watch so many movies, so I'm just not gonna.
It becomes one of those things where, like, the longer Marvel went on, it stopped being about fun and it started being about homework for a lot of people. And they're just like, look, bro, I'm not taking an exam.
It would literally take me like a year to watch all the Marvel movies.
But it would only take you like an hour and 45 minutes to watch Die Hard.
That is true.
True.
And imagine all the Christmas in the future where you won't have to answer that question.
The Ninja Bear said Die Hard is the best Christmas movie. Porn used to be in seedy back rooms, and the abundance now available along with OF being a thing is leading to a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. Mary is under a rock.
I'm going to end the poll, speaking of the Die Hard thing before. I did not forget.
Is that about
today.
Die Hard or about porn?
Well, the previous one about porn, or about Die Hard says, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? I asked you, ladies and gentlemen, and the votes were 80-19. I hate it when it does this. 80% of you say, yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. 19% of you say no. I don't know where the hell that other 1% goes, but
Explain
it disappears
yourself.
somewhere.
Joe Watland said, "Is Gremlins a Christmas movie?"
I haven't seen Gremlins in years.
I think so because it was a gift. The
There you
Mogwai
go.
was a gift. Without Christmas, or then there's no reason for him to get the Mogwai.
So if Christmas happens in a movie,
No,
it's
if
Christmas.
the movie doesn't happen without Christmas.
Okay.
So because John McClane was not going to California if he wasn't going out there for Christmas, they wouldn't have given the gift of the Mogwai if it wasn't for Christmas. So if it doesn't happen, if removing Christmas means the premise of the movie doesn't happen, then it's a Christmas movie.
Home Alone could have been them going on Thanksgiving vacation.
No
Okay,
one goes on Thanksgiving vacation.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's just weird.
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, "Mary with the Bruce Willis joke. Normally, I'm the one who has to get my coat and see myself out." LMFAO.
No,
Yeah, it's me today.
Sometimes you get risky.
Rockstar Podcast said, "We are at a point where every film genre needs to have a Christmas movie."
One thing I do love that I adore is like every good show that I ever grew up loving, or every show that I love has at least a couple really good Christmas episodes that later got watered down to holiday episodes because you have to appeal to everything.
Unfortunate.
But if you have a show that you love, I always love it because you remember that they were likely making this episode in September, because it's like right when the season starts. Seasons start in the fall, right? So they're already filming at the end of summer. I love it. I love Christmas episodes of TV shows. The show Warehouse 13 did these great Christmas specials that were not connected to the continuity of the show that were always really, really good.
Oh, this is a good question. I Am What I Am said, "Why does GTA have a story when everyone always does the same thing? Steal cars, shoot guns, take money. Why does it need a story? Why does it need a story?
I don't know.
Why do you need to be a single mom and have a backstory?"
I can't believe that it's a single mom in the show. How are you supposed to like?
I like the idea that she's like she's going to get like baby, like what is it, like formula, and that's how it starts because the skyrocketing prices of formula.
They're in lock boxes now.
Yeah, well she'll have to shoot. She'll have to shoot to open one, right? Because she's in Miami. I don't know if Miami locks up their stuff the same way that San Francisco does. That's what
I see it locked up just
I
around
guess
here.
that stuff's locked up anyways. I do love the idea that the next one they make is like a version of Grand Theft Auto that's in San Francisco, and half the game is just you like dodging poo on the streets as you're running. Like as the cops are chasing you, you can hit poo and like hit it and slide and fall, and the cops catch you. And like or like maybe it's like you're in stealth mode, so you only steal $899 worth of stuff, so they can't arrest you anyways, right? That's good.
Unusable Alpaca said, "Brett, did you see next week Amazon is giving away 2 free tickets for the first 2 episodes of season 2 of Reacher in theaters? If you have Prime, let's go!"
But
That was a lot to take
okay,
in.
so I can. It's a giveaway. Why don't you just like put it in theaters for a day?
It's a
and
giveaway to see episodes of a show that
See,
are going to be on Amazon.
This is the
anyway.
problem with not being a shill channel, and like I love that
Aren't we
show.
supposed to be Access Media shills now?
Yes, we are.
Where are the invites?
Yeah, like I'm pissed, right? You go to one premiere and people call you shills. We went to the Lady Ballers premiere.
Oh, cool.
So we were.
But it's like,
we're now shills.
isn't there a possibility that I liked the movie?
Yeah.
No,
Okay, fine,
No.
whatever.
Lady Ballers doesn't strike me as your type of movie.
I did like it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you fibbing?
No.
Just a little?
No.
I had
Exaggerating,
more,
maybe?
I had more of
movie.
I had more of a problem with it than Mary.
Did you?
Yeah, like I had a little bit more of a problem.
I guess
with
I
the movie.
noticed the same things that you pointed out, but I just liked the movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Airtez 00 said, Daniel G said, "I remember my friend's parents burning Harry Potter."
See, that's so crazy. That was such a part of my childhood. Being somebody who wasn't in a devoutly religious family. We went to church on Sundays and on holidays, but like hearing about the kids whose parents burned Harry Potter books, or like
I mean, I didn't grow up around anyone who was allowed to read Harry Potter. I wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter.
We were from different worlds.
I didn't want
Mary.
to, but I wasn't allowed to.
We were from different worlds.
It's true.
Allowed to.
Yes, I mean, your parents literally decide everything for you.
I mean, I didn't want my mom to find out that I liked Judas Priest because she
And it's
believed that
exactly
Judas
what
Priest
you're
was-
saying, Brett. Clean up in your own house.
Yep.
Like,
did you see the thing about the school board lady from Pennsylvania who got sworn in on a stack of banned books? The cringe is real, ladies and gentlemen.
so lame.
Imagine like taking your oath of office on genderqueer.
Rockstar Podcast said, disclaimer, Rockstar Podcast has no association with Rockstar Games. Thank you for that.
Oh, perfect.
Yurishima Otaru said, 817, Florida man breaks into home, steals sausages.
There you go. See, everyone, that's actually kind of...
Usually they go for the safe,
yeah.
but he was just hungry. Shane H. Wilder said, 1120, Florida man tries to evade police by playing Frogger across a busy highway.
Mine is Florida.
Did he lose?
No.
Okay.
I have a couple. So mine was Florida man arrested for pelting girlfriend with McDonald's chicken nuggets. I like
How
that
is
one.
that a crime?
I don't know. I don't understand.
Public disturbance, probably, if it's
Okay.
happening at a McDonald's. Florida man sits on gun, shoots himself in the penis.
I remember
What's
since
your penis doing on your butt?
That's a Florida man claims.
he was tucking.
Florida man claims powers of invisibility helped him steal cigarettes.
Since you mentioned McDonald's, I had a flashback to this really traumatizing event from my childhood where I witnessed an undercover cop tackle and arrest a man in a McDonald's.
Why was the guy in the
It was so weird because I was actually like in DC with my dad that day. He was taking me like take your kid to work day. And then we went to McDonald's for lunch and that happened. And I was like terrified.
Oh.
Like he literally tackled this guy on the ground and was like wrestling him on the ground and arresting him in the back room.
I wonder what crime the guy committed.
Maybe he was pelting chicken nuggets.
That
I
could
don't
have been
know.
the same guy.
I did see him throw his drink at the workers behind the counter. That's when it all started.
Suspect doused himself about the guy who claimed powers of invisibility helped him steal cigarettes. Suspect doused himself in laundry detergent. Wow.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Unusable Alpaca said 50 Cent twixt at Diddy about 50 buying Bad Boy Records or one of his companies while mentioning Diddy's sponsors would be pulling out, then lists them. 50 told Diddy he would buy the label on the low.
Oh, I love the idea that he makes this documentary, ruins him, and he's like, I'll buy your label.
So he's playing the long game.
Your reputation has been irrevocably damaged. That is shocking. I'm here. Would you like to sell your record label now, Mr. Diddy?
Joshua French said, poll keeps showing up blank. I have to guess what the poll is and the options. I guessed wrong and voted no when I wanted to vote yes.
I hate it when that happens.
Bang Bang Lulu said, did Diddy do it? Illegally sell seashells down by the seashore?
He could have done it.
Yeah.
He could have.
Sirenko Productions said, we stand Lana Del Rey. That is all.
Yeah.
So true. Unusable Alpaca said, to me, it looks like Destiny got played because his wife is Swedish, not an American citizen, and she used him to stay in the country and keep her business opportunities and the money rolling in. A lot of people did say that it appeared to be a green card marriage, but I don't know. They seemed to like each other when I interacted with them. Bucky Ducky said, I still want a Star Wars ranking, even from Brett.
You're not going to get one from me. But
Well, we
Phil
have
might
someone who's
one.
actually a fan of Star Wars now. Can you rank the Star Wars movies? The only 6 that count.
Only 6?
Meaning not the new trilogy.
Yes, non-Disney.
5, 4, 3, 1. No, 5, 4, 6, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2.
Okay.
5, 4, 6, 1, 3, 2. Yeah.
I didn't know how I was going to rate them, but 1 was at the bottom, no matter what. P. Tran said, I sent
She's
you
wrong.
2 clips on Twix with Ian Punk, Brett.
Thank you. I will then use them, hopefully, in the next...
Wait, I haven't seen this. Can you pull it up and show us?
We'll save it. I think this is him explaining punk rock. We'll save
He
it.
didn't sing?
Well, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
DCNC said 1 out of 5 people are wrong about Die Hard. Bucky Ducky said, I actually agree. GTA should lean into being a sandbox and doesn't need a story. Make the game so complex that we can make our own story.
There you go.
Quite Blackpilled said, Mocha Taliban are that missing 1%, Brett.
Very, very possible. Just a daily reminder, there will be no justice for Mocha the Derpy Cat. Sorry.
Quite Blackpilled. Oh, no. Gordon Shumway said the downfall of Christmas movies started with the Star Wars holiday special.
That's probably accurate.
I mean, let's face it. It's actually the war on Christmas, right? Like, when did
The Star Wars Christmas special is the reason for the war on Christmas.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, the reason for the war on Christmas is the Star Wars Christmas special. People saw that and said, "This shit needs to end. No more."
That was Rush Limbaugh, right? With the war on Christmas.
I don't remember.
Was it Rush Limbaugh that had the war on Christmas?
What does that mean? Had the war on Christmas?
It was like a punchline.
Like he coined it?
Yeah, he coined the phrase "war on Christmas."
I thought that it was because Starbucks changed their Christmas cups.
I think it started before then.
Okay.
I think the term started before then.
The Rumbling said Lethal Weapon 1 is a Christmas movie.
There you go.
Shane H. Wilder.
Just another daily reminder, guys. Go watch the Lethal Weapon. Go watch all the movies and then watch the TV show, which was so much better than it had any right to be. Especially given that Damon Wayans doesn't. I don't see Damon Wayans in a whole lot, and Clayton Crawford is great in that show. It also has Jordana Brewster, and like the only thing I've ever seen her in besides the Fast and the Furious movie. It's good. It's good. You should watch it.
Shane H. Wilder said, let's just say if it's a Shane Black movie, then it is a Christmas movie.
Predator.
Bucky Ducky said 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. These are all the right opinions, Phil.
No.
The Ninja Bear said, Mary, Phil, Brent, since chickens came from dinosaurs, doesn't that make all chicken nuggets dino nuggies? Mary, you need to watch the pop culture movies like Monty Python and The Holy Grail. Okay, but everyone has a different opinion of which movies I should watch. I can't watch them all.
Yeah.
Are all chicken nuggets dino nuggies?
So all dino nuggies are chicken nuggets, but not all chicken nuggets are dino nuggies. It's a faulty syllogism.
Okay. Beyonce is literally a living legend. What a performer, said Brett, Pearl, and Taylor Swift in GTA 6 PCC push.
I'm completely okay with that. What they should do, that's the Bonnie and Clyde, or the Thelma and Louise team I need in a game. I need to see Taylor Swift and Pearl arm in arm.
Who's taller?
Pearl.
Is Pearl taller than Taylor Swift?
Pearl's gigantic.
And they're
she needs her own Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Jason Kelce's married, so never mind.
High Voltage 75 said, what didn't you like about 3, Phil?
Well, I mean, that's not a dislike. I liked all of them, like all 6 of the originals, or the first 6. But I think that the Ewoks should have been Wookiees.
There you go.
That's it? All right.
Yeah, that's about it.
DC&C said, Phil, Mary's got you on Star Wars Episode 1, my guy. They think I'm right.
You can think that all you want.
Hiroshima Otaru said, Lucas wanted the holiday special destroyed. Is that true?
I mean, the beauty of things like that is those are the stories that become legend. When something's so bad, they literally take to bury it.
I mean, there are very few things that are worse.
He also said, Mary, you need to watch the movies I like.
There you go.
Well, that's what everyone says. I can't win. The next one's from Carnell. I can't read that one.
Says a new documentary about the making of the Star Wars holiday special just released this week. It's called A Disturbance in the Force.
What?
See, like when something is that bad, it becomes the stuff of legends, and it becomes more than that. There's this old College Humor skit that was making the round the way on Twitter today, where it's somebody made the movie Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal, and everybody has the false memory that it was Shazam with Sinbad. Well, the College Humor, or one of these sites, made fake VHS covers of Shazam with Sinbad, and then so now the clip without context is going around, and people are all having those false memories again. Like, was it Shazam with Sinbad? No, it was Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal. A movie that was panned by critics and made no money, and they were like, do you regret doing it? He's like, no. When I was a kid, I was like, I'd love to make a movie. And they're like, here, do you want $7 million to make a movie? Yes, I'll do it. Shaquille O'Neal rules.
He does. Shaquille O'Neal's the best.
DC&C said £2 for Monty Python and the Holy Grail mares. I forget that you're from the UK.
The UK.
DC&C.
We're about halfway to a fourth crisis party. I'm just
stuff.
mentioning that for the sake of mentioning it.
Do you like beans on toast? Answer us.
Oh, God, no.
Bucky Ducky said, no, Mary. As Zoomers, we have a duty to watch all movies that the last 3 generations grew up on. Doesn't matter if you don't have time. Well, damn.
Just do it. It's like that cop who arrested the guy the other day, and he's like, "Are you watching movies on your phone while driving?"
Yes.
It's like, yes.
Chad meme. Yes. Tweeting while driving? Kind of
It's
base.
like, yes, of course.
Also, I tried beans on toast once, and it was good. Maybe I was just really hungry.
That could absolutely be true.
What was the next one?
Bucky Ducky
I can't watch that.
says
can't read that one.
Ewoks would have been Wookiees, just too expensive.
Yeah.
I liked the Ewoks.
Urashima
Other
Utaru.
than, not their lips. I don't like that.
And then Hiroshima Utaru says Steel is an underrated comic book movie. That's another one of those ones that I haven't seen in many, many years. I don't know if it's as bad as I remember it being, but it was always considered to be comically bad. But we'll have to go back and check that out. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Thank you so much for that. Phil, my friend, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I am Phil That Remains on Twix. I am Phil That Remains Official on Instagram. You can follow me on either place. The band is All That Remains. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Pandora, YouTube, you know, the internet.
The internet.
The internet.
Mary.
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect.
Or send movie recommendations that I'm not going to watch.
I'll never watch them.
Guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. PCC is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify, if you'd like to listen rather than watch. There's one more super chat here from Bucky Ducky. Says, based Mary, Ewoks are great.
Yeah, the one thing I just hate about them is how visible their lips are. Didn't anyone else find that really weird?
Phil?
No. Well, I mean, I didn't notice. Now that you pointed out, I can think of.
Kind of hate it.
Like, I get what you're going.
But
at
I
there, what
also
you're
like.
talking about, so.
I thought about the fact that there were like children in the costumes playing the Ewoks.
I thought they were little people.
I thought they were children. And it was like a little person that was in the R2D2, the original.
No, that was definitely little people.
Really? All the
Yeah.
Ewoks?
I don't know about all
I think the Ewoks were kids.
I don't know about all the Ewoks.
Or maybe I just liked to think that because I was like, oh, they're little teddy bears.
Look at their dimensions. Like they all have like body, like almost normal sized bodies and then small arms and legs. They're most likely mostly dwarfs. And definitely R2D2 was a dwarf. It was I forget his name and I used to know it right off the top of my head, but
Okay. We got one more here from DC&C. Says, beans on toast over Taco Bell, Mary.
No, that is not true. Although I like both. I'm looking at this right now and it says the Ewoks are led by a child, but Warwick Davis played
Warwick
Wicket,
Davis.
the littlest Ewok.
He was also in Willow.
Yep, Willow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he was also in the Harry Potter movies.
And he was in Leprechaun, I believe, as well.
I'm the Leprechaun.
I believe that was Warwick Davis. Yeah.
Probably because Vern Troyer wasn't around yet when.
Vernon Troyer's not around anymore either.
Yeah, I know. It's a
drag.
It's a drag, right? All right, guys. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you'd like to listen rather than watch. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at @popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. When you get your mugs or your t-shirts, you should take pictures and then tag them with the Pop Culture Crisis Instagram.
Tag us
at popculture_show so that we can hopefully repost it there, guys. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Later.